ground, don't disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started, it's the hardest. Talk around, don't disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. Yeah,
get your boots ready. We're about to go on a trip where we wrestle, nobody settling or calling it quits. You're here for the grit, betcha this stuff is amazing. You're stumbling? Welcome to the bump in the apron. Step into it, the hardest part of the ring. Here to bring fun, yeah, in this art he's king. It's the best thing, making sure you don't tap out. Don't go soft with the hardest podcast out. And it's not just another one, it's clear. Off the rest, in this content, none contest. Take the nonsense off the steps. You know it's nothing but pure gems when it's coming off the chest. Get it? Now it's time to sit and relax. Get your mind blown away, ain't no skipping this track. Have you paying more attention, no listening gap. Get everything I ever wanted, no giving it back.
Yes, 911. Yes, there's a fire in my studio. A studio, my podcast studio, the Apron Bump. Ever heard of it? Yeah. Yeah. What? What do you mean? Look, I send somebody right now. I can't have any delays. I have important topics. I have important topics to discuss. I need to talk about Senshi, Gail Kim, Larry Zbyszko. Look, this is gonna ruin the entire episode. Send somebody right now. They're on their way? They're on their way. No, I don't need Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner is going to provide no help to... Oh, it's a fire truck. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense, actually. Tell them to hurry up, okay? Hey! Yeah. You see all this? Yeah. What are you going to do about it? Take your shirt off and put this fire out. Alright, I got it. Thanks. Yeah, it's a little hot in here. There's some embers. Whatever, it'll be fine. I got important things to do, alright? Now keep your shirt off and go over there. What started the fire? I mean, Eric Young's pyro, I think. Yeah, Eric Young. I want him fired. Huh? I don't care what his catchphrase. Fire him. Eric Young. God damn it. Oh, jeez. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for the little delay there on the beginning of this podcast, the Apron Bump podcast. The craziest thing, I mean, the fire and the roof was caught on fire. The roof caught on fire. The pyro, it was a whole thing. I mean, you can't have Eric Young coming out with pyro and ruining the whole this whole thing. I mean, that would be a ridiculous thing. Though, actually, to come to think of it, it's bizarrely coincidental that the show that we're covering today, TNA Hard Justice 2006, also had a fire in the roof and caused the delay. It's actually really bizarre and it's downright wacky. What a comedy of errors, really, for this to happen on this particular episode. But outside of that, we got a lot to talk about today, folks. Of course, the whole goddamn arena engulfed in flames. We got to talk about, which happens on this show. It's weird. It's weird that I never really heard about this. You would have felt like it'd be a bigger deal and more of like a just a reference people make. I don't know. I didn't know what happened until I watched this show. But on this show, look, every wrestling show really, but particularly TNA, there's hits and then there's misses, right? Well, on this particular pay-per-view, there are some grand slam home runs. I'm talking Barry Bonds juice to the gills, driving that sucker all the way into the bay. There are some of those. There are some 500 footers. And then there are some matches on this show that are more of like a when somebody swings a bat and the bat flies out of their hands and it kills a little Mexican baby sitting in the stands. There are some matches that are that. And it's both ends of the spectrum. There's not a lot of in between on this show. But that's TNA in a nutshell for you. So I wouldn't have it any other way. But Jeff Jarrett, Sting, headlining the show. We got LAX versus AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels. We got X Division title on the line. Senshi defending his title in a 3-way. We got all sorts of women's wrestling, tag team wrestling. Kevin Nash is in a wheelchair. What else is new? Lots to get into. We might as well stop dilly-dallying. Diddling? Let's start diddling, actually, and get to the episode. But first, I want to let you know, if you like this type of episode, if you like TNA, if you like this era of TNA, or maybe you're just uninformed about this era of TNA and you'd like to hear about it from the very beginning, well, from the beginning of the pay-per-views, late 2004, Daddy covers that all. Go to apronbump.com and you can go to the episodes tab at the top and you could filter to any promotion, any era you'd like to hear me recap. You can select on TNA and that'll bring you back all the way to Victory Road 2004. And I've covered every single pay-per-view up until now. Where are we at? August 2006? We're getting there, man. Check it out. It's been a fun ride. But before we get into the episode, let's give a shout out to the boys at the Ruthless Aggression Era Podcast, returning to the show to talk a little TNA. Neither guy, Mike and Dave are the gentlemen from the RA Era Podcast. Mike is very familiar with TNA. Dave has never seen a full show from what I've gathered. So different viewpoints on this show as well as my own. So it's a fun old time. But go check out the RA Era Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as YouTube. All their info in the description below. Follow them on the Twitter, the Instagram, all of that stuff. Hilarious podcast. Very entertaining stuff. As per their name, they cover the Ruthless Aggression Era Podcast. I believe they started at Vengeance 2002 and have worked their way to where they are now. I think they just covered Vengeance 2005. Yes. They do deep dives into the Raws and the SmackDowns. They even cover Velocity and Heat, which your boy is the third mic on those bonus shows. It's always a hilarious time. They just put out an episode recently where we covered Heat. So, and more to come. So go check them out. They're good boys. They're sweet boys. And they got big old fat cocks on them. So with that, I think that about covers it. Let's get hard, everybody, with some TNA Hard Justice 2006 with myself and Dave and Mike from the Ruthless Aggression Era Podcast. God, you see, I was debating because it's 3 p.m. here. And I was like, is that too early to start drinking? But
no, well, it's 8 o'clock in the evening over here, so
yeah.
Right. Well, you guys,
and as well, what you got to think about, no matter where you are in the world, whatever time it is in the world, it is always 12 o'clock somewhere in the world.
It's a very good point.
So if you just find out where that world is and decide, like how we live in that era where people can identify as fucking plant pots. So you can decide that you want to identify as a insert nation where it's 12 o'clock person. And for that day, you're from that country.
You know what? If you put it that way, I'll be right back.
He's going to come back with some pissy American beer right now, isn't he? It's going to be some... if it's mullet or cause, I'm leaving Carl. I feel like we need to fill into time. So TNA, we're going to look at TNA. Fire. And it was on fire. Literally on fire. Everything were on fire. We were just filling in the time.
There we go.
We were just filling in the time.
You guys covered it, right? While I was gone?
I want to see.
It was fire.
What's your beer? I need to see.
Just got a little Miller Lite. Nothing too crazy.
I fucking told you it would be.
Is that what you said it would be?
I said it'd be Miller or Coors.
Okay, yeah, we have like some stray beers in our fridge. We had all these bullshit seltzers that people have brought over. What do you guys' takes on seltzers? Or do you guys have them over there?
A seltzer's like a medicine.
Yo, do you guys not have like alcoholic seltzer over there?
We have Alka-Seltzer, but again, that's like medicine when you're hungover.
It tastes the same. Yeah. No, it's like carbonated alcohol. It's like a soda, but with alcohol, basically.
Okay.
They're huge over here. Maybe they haven't gotten
like
across
a
the pond
Wicked.
yet.
Is it like a WKD?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, a Wicked is a cider, which is similar in that it's sweet.
No, it isn't. No,
this
it
is
Wicked?
cider.
A Wicked. So a Wicked is vodka and fruit juice, or vodka and pop.
Yeah,
as I'd call it.
What am I? Hold on. What am I thinking of? There's like a Wicked.
WKD. Not the word Wicked. It's WKD. The initials.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking Wicked. Yeah, there's a Wicked side. Yeah. Okay, so we're thinking of different things.
Yeah.
See, we're learning. We're being culturally inclusive here on that podcast.
Every day's school day.
That's it. I learned a bit of something as well earlier. Well, yesterday.
What you learned about?
I learned that you need to go making me watch shit pay-per-view.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. This show was fire.
Literally.
I thought. What'd you guys think about this show?
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire, everyone.
I've got a lot of questions. Because as you know, don't watch TNA. I say don't watch TNA. I dipped very much in and out of TNA. This pay-per-view, never watched before. I especially didn't know that it literally was on fire. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
I didn't know either. That was a surprise to me as well.
I had so many questions. Like Mike's quite a TNA fan, so Mike's filled in the gaps a little bit. But I've got still so many. Like, why aren't the Motor City Machine Guns the Motor City Machine Guns?
They work together.
There's so many. I have so many questions. So many questions.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. Like how many lines of cocaine did Monty Brown have?
Yes. Yes.
Monty Brown.
Shit.
Yes, many.
He's on my personal Mount Rushmore. He is fantastic.
He's fucking great.
Genius.
Especially on this show. Good God. I mean, we'll get into it, but overall, I mean, Mike, what'd you think of this show, Mike? Overall, before we dive into it,
as you say, with fire, 40 fucking minutes and fucking parking lot.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me because I had never seen this show particularly because this is like around the time when I was getting into TNA. So I didn't watch this pay-per-view, but I was watching the TV shows and stuff like that. So I was easing into it at this point. But my first time watching this show, first time watching any of these matches, and like you, I had no idea about the fire thing. You would think that'd be like a more like referenced thing.
Yeah, well documented. Yeah. Why wasn't it publicized at the time? Surely that makes national news.
Maybe it did. But we'll ease our way into it. But you guys on the Ruthless Aggression Era podcast, you guys are like roughly a year behind this show in the timeline.
A lot of our guys are over there.
Right, Christian,
Dudley's,
probably others.
Dudley's,
yes, Dudley's,
Rhino, Spike.
Runt.
Yeah,
right, yeah, it's a lot of them, but it's a similar era.
Bischoff. Larry Zbyszko.
Is Larry Zbyszko in WWE?
No, I know.
2005.
But are you telling me that that's not Eric Bischoff Monday Night?
Oh, I see. You were being a jokester there.
I was trying to be. It didn't work, obviously.
I'm just very stupid. The Miller's already hitting me. But I guess because they're similar eras, where do you think this product is better or worse than the WWE product that you guys are covering at the moment? It's hard to say because you just watched this pay-per-view in a bit of vacuum.
I think that the way they said, like, for me, TNA has always stood out on twofold. One being their cruiserweights or their X division. Two being they were the first wrestling company in that I really ever paid attention to that give a fuck about women's wrestling. Yeah. Apart from this match, but I'll get to that.
We're not quite there yet, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So from them two key points coming into this, the women's side of it, that's just what you'd see on WWE. That were nothing new, nothing fresh. That were just your Trish Stratus against some bigger person. But where your X division, so if you want to throw in, because for me this kind of had two X division-y. So you had your Motor City Machine Guns clash that was very X division-y. But that was a bit more spotty. I was saying to Mike, that was a bit for me Will Ospreay, Ricochet sort of spotty thing where we'll jump off each other for a bit.
Yeah.
Where the X Division match with Samoa Joe and I'm not Bobby Lashley. I thought it's fucking great, man. I loved him. I remembered him a little bit in ECW as Marcus Corvon. He's fucking brilliant. The pounce, what a finish! I'm just gonna run into you like a cunt.
It was brilliant.
So good.
I think for me that kind of was very symbolic of the X Division, because the X Division wasn't just, it was like it was always no limits, weren't it? No weight limits. You can be a high flyer, but you can also be a big fat bastard like Samoa Joe, but who can do a backflip. So you can qualify as well. Where like in WWE, if we're comparing the X Division to the Cruiserweight division, someone like Samoa Joe would obviously never be able to showcase his talents in that way. So I enjoyed that, and I always have when it comes to TNA, that even to this day.
It revolutionized modern wrestling.
Yeah, no, definitely did. But in a comparison to WWE, I think they're very on par. I think TNA is still trying to find their footing, I suppose. I feel like is this before Kurt Angle and this?
This is right before Kurt Angle. This is like 2 months before Kurt Angle.
I feel like TNA turns it up a notch when Kurt Angle signs. And I think that's maybe because I watched a lot more of TNA after Kurt Angle signed.
Yeah.
That's a good point to start. Like if you're just getting into TNA, like when Kurt Angle gets there, Bound for Glory, which is like their WrestleMania, is 2 months from this point. Yeah. And that's probably my favorite TNA pay-per-view. So and like at that point on is when they really start cooking from a content wise. But before that, we are at Hard Justice. We're getting hard.
We are.
And we are kicking this off. First of all, you guys familiar with Team Canada?
Yes.
At all?
Yeah, but in WCW with Lance Storm.
Okay, well, that's not these guys.
We're both.
So
it's
Bobby
Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Scott D'Amore.
Johnny Devine.
I didn't know who we were. I messaged Mike straight and went, who the fuck is Johnny Devine? Kyle's making me watch shit again.
Started off hot with Johnny Devine and his stupid singlet.
The big blonde guy.
It's kind of just like A1. Shitty Dolph Ziggler.
No,
A1, yes.
It reminded me of shitty Kaz. Kind of the face of Frankie Kazarian. He was a shitty Kaz, yeah.
Well, I bring that up because this is a battle of Team Canada. So Team Canada just recently broke up like a month before this. So this is a battle between two guys that were previously in the faction. And where we're at this point, Eric Young is getting over huge with
Daniel
the crowd.
Bryan.
I don't know if that...
The Yes Movement.
Pretty
this
much.
Is the Yes Movement before the Yes Movement there.
And Eric Young, his character is like, he's just a paranoid idiot, basically. And he's scared that he's going to get fired. And he's trying to convince the crowd to get behind him so he doesn't get fired. He even comes out in this match with a bunch of fans, like the Adam Rose, what the Conga line or whatever the hell. And then Johnny Devine's just, he's a part of the paparazzi, which is a faction with him, Alex Shelley, Kevin Nash. We'll see him more later, but just an opening match here. Basically, the premise here is that Eric, if he wins this match, he keeps his job, I guess. The match is what it is. There's nothing too spectacular, but the match is going along. It's fine. It's good. They're doing headlocks or whatever the hell in the middle of the ring. And then you just see like this white... You
saw something fall. That were it. You saw something fall. Like, what's that? And then all of a sudden, the camera panned up. And the best thing where I loved it a little bit later, where like the commentators even owned up that like it was our fault because it was only a tiny little fire, but we shot 1 million fire extinguishers on it and caused all this.
Hear it over the match,
dude. Because it was like. It was like little like spurts of fire extinguisher.
Young's just throwing blind punches in corner. Can't see shit.
Oh my god! And then they just it's just covering literally an entire impact zone in smoke, not from the fire, but from the fire extinguisher. And like you said, they're still having a match. By the way, Johnny Devine's still throwing out springboard moonsaults, which can't be safe. Like I'm assuming that's like wet. The rope's probably from and you can't see.
They're constantly doing more camera switches than Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hide it, so it's like he's got to sit in it, I guess. But I thought the match was fine.
They finished the match.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean, like I did like the finish.
Yes,
I did like. There's a decent little finish, and fair fucks to them from finishing the match because, like I said, for the remaining maybe 5-6 minutes of the match, they couldn't see a thing. Could not see a thing. To the point where, obviously, afterwards, everyone had to go and stand outside and have a cig.
Right.
Yeah, for 45 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Eric Young hits like a crazy power bomb and then hits a wheelbarrow net breaker for the win. So Eric Young gets the win. Great finish. And then well, I guess first of all, any thoughts on the match before we talk about what they do after?
Yeah. Good finish. I was too concerned about fire. I can't remember anything else. I looked at my notes and I was like, Eric Young versus there's a fire.
Well, before we get to like the delay shenanigans, we got to mention that after the match, it cuts to Earl Hebner choking out the referee of this match.
Not just Earl Hebner, right? Unemployed Earl Hebner. And how did you know he was unemployed? Because he looked like he smelt.
It looked like
bum ass Earl Hebner.
Bum ass Hebner.
Yeah, he's because at Slammiversary, which was the pay-per-view, might have been 2 pay-per-views before this. He basically cost Sting and Christian a ladder match and was basically it was like a screw job basically parody, but they fired Earl Hebner and now he's back and he's pissed at the referee staff but speaking of fire, they we get a little fire delay.
Everybody out of the pool.
Because like you guys mentioned, I guess it was like the pyro. I don't know if it was the opening pyro or Eric Young's pyro.
From what I gathered, it was the opening pyro at the start.
Yeah.
And then that's caused a little fire that they've panicked and everyone's picked up a fire extinguisher and gone wild. I feel like they've missed the fire completely. And then, here we are. We're outside the impact zone. Sorry. But first, we weren't, were we? Because we were cutting to the commentators who were stalling for time as they were replacing the ring mat. Because obviously the ring mat's got destroyed by all the fucking shit that's come out of fire extinguisher. They fucked themselves up here. Only TNA can sabotage their own sabotage.
And poor franchise couldn't get enough TV time either.
Oh, he's just a fucking poor man's Triple H, isn't it?
The Dougler. Respect the Dougler.
But yes, Marcus Corvon's fucking... He's had a line and they're going, shit, we've got an hour to fill. Someone go and get fucking alpha male. And he's there stomping around his locker room.
Well, I do like how they handled it because, I mean, it's a roof fire, which I don't know if we've mentioned that, but I guess I could see them panicking like, oh, the roof's going to collapse or whatever the hell. But like you said, they filled the place with smoke. They had to evacuate everybody. It cuts to like a Sting and Jeff Jarrett vignette. That
was brilliant.
10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like it covered like 8 months of Jarrett versus Sting. It was like, you can stick your my way up your arse. This is a fucking promo package. 8.5 minute long. Come on.
Because it was like parts. So like on Impact, on the TV show leading up to this, they did that like throughout the show, but they did it like before each commercial break. So they broke it up. But here they just
snippet of it. Okay.
Yeah, so they just bulked it up and just threw it out there. Like you said, stalling for time. They're they do like the vignette for the 4-way tag team match, but ended up getting cut. It was going to be a number 1 contendership match, but that got cut. So, and then so it cuts to Mike Tenay and Jeremy Borash backstage. There's fire trucks in the background. People are like firemen are behind them.
I love the dramatic shot of the firemen walking. And that. It's like,
that's how you do it.
We've got real life going on, but let's get some good shots of these firemen.
Make it look more serious.
Yeah, so it's like, there's a reason why we're not having wrestling right now. So I get it. And some impromptu promos, which I thought was fun. You have like Eric Young coming in. He's like, this wasn't my fault. This wasn't my fault, guys, which is perfectly with his character. And he had the match with his own pyros. Like, it wasn't me. It wasn't mine. And then Monty Brown comes in, which I'm sure there's like a promo he was probably going to cut later in the show. But he's like, throw him out there. He's sweaty. He's hot. He's ready to, sniff the microphone or whatever the hell he does.
It was brilliant. Started punching himself in the head and that. It's fucking brilliant.
Sniffs microphone.
Wipes microphone on his forehead.
He's because it's a fire, guys. So you know what Monty Brown's gonna do to Rhino and Samoa Joe later. He's gonna blaze them because it's a fire. It's a fire. It's a fire, gentlemen.
Oh, see, I didn't get that. I got that a different way. Because wrestlers will say they're gonna smoke their ass, and somebody who smokes also will use the word blazing. So I'm thinking more like So he's going to smoke
his opponents.
Yeah, because X-Pac used to say it. Your ass is grass and I'm going to smoke it.
Does that mean you're going to suck it? Like you're going to suck their sphincter?
That sounds more like a come on.
No, I was thinking more like take them to like a furnace and like cremate them, put their ashes into a joint and then smoke. That's what I thought X-Pac meant.
That might have been what Monty Brown meant here.
That's why I thought China died.
Well, that's breaking news to me. That's the first I'm hearing of this. Hopefully the wrestling sites will take up on that. But.
Don't sue me, because China States cunts. I've seen them on the internet. Don't sue me. It's only jest. Everything I say is jest. Wait till we get onto Funaki, Bruce Jenner in a bit. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. The Naturals come in with Shane Douglas. And I guess they knew at this point that their match was getting cut because Shane was like, look, you guys, this is adversity. This is a test for you guys. So they played it into like the storyline because at this point, Shane Douglas is a new manager of the Naturals. So it's like, this is just another test for you guys to fight through. So all in all, they did it as smooth as they possibly could.
You knew better than a shit Triple H.
I'm not going to lie.
Exactly.
When I did realize that I don't have to watch a Shane Douglas match, I'm like, God, he's shit in there. Is there a more self-overhyped wrestler in the history of 90s/2000s wrestling than fucking the franchise Shane Douglas? Like, it was part of I used to think were a solid stable in the dying ends of WCW with Revolution, where you had everyone that went to WWE and Shane Douglas. And there's a reason why everyone went to WWE and Shane Douglas didn't, because he was Shane Douglas.
He did, but he failed.
He stunk as Dean Douglas, didn't he? He stunk as Dean Douglas. He fell out with the people you shouldn't be falling out with, which never helped him. When you fall out with Michaels and his boys. But like he then could have gone on to go to where he went to his WCW run or his ECW and all that stuff. And he could have gone on to be a legend because he had everything. He had a good look about him. He had the gimmick. He's just a fucking bell end. Can't stand Shane Douglas. Never had. Never will. When they signed Guerrero, Malenko, Saturn, Benoit, I'm so glad that Vince were like, Douglas, give over.
His ECW run was good, though. That was definitely especially like the mid-90s. He was definitely a diamond in the rough because everybody else was just a bunch of shit.
He did have decent runs, but he could have, he should have been so much better. But he always believed he was leaps and bounds above than actually he was, instead of focusing on where he were.
That's why he's always be a shit Triple H.
Shit Triple H.
I always viewed him as a shit Ric Flair myself, but I guess they're on the same tree, different branches of the same tree. But so they handle that. It's like a 45-minute delay. They get back to the action. Everybody gets filed in back to the Impact Zone.
Everyone looks so happy to be back in. I will say though, fair fucks to Don West, because like usually with WWE, if this would happen, right, a match would be like removed like this one was, and they wouldn't say anything about it. It wouldn't get mentioned until the following Raw, and then they'd have the match.
Yeah,
Don West outside straight up, he went, look, you know like we do, there's some matches that are going to get cut tonight because we're out here for fucking 45 minutes. At least they were kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit with that and being open and honest with their audience, saying, look,
that was good.
There's nothing we can do about it, but some matches, you're not going to be able to see everything you want to see tonight. Let's be straight. I did like the honesty behind that. They could have either rushed through them and got everything on card and made it a big jumbled mess, or say, look, let's take away a shit match. Which one's Shane Douglasy? Do you know what I mean?
And they could have also separated the match and just had a couple more interviews.
Yeah.
Give more time to...
Maybe they needed the women. They needed some diversity. I don't know, but
women.
Yeah, it is what it is. But what we do get, what does not get cut, is a X Division title #1 contendership match. We got Motor City in the house here. We got Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. Not TBF. This is where they're from. This is where they're from, right here. And so again, very bizarre to see these guys facing off against each other to this day. They're still teaming to this day, still doing great shit in Impact.
their run that they had, it's always the go-to one, isn't it? They're 2 out of 3 with beer money.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Oh, yeah.
Iconic. Probably two, if not the best
TNA's
set of
best
tag team matches that TNA's ever produced.
Agreed 100%. But this is maybe a year or two before they form as a tag team, because right now Alex Shelley, like I mentioned, he's a part of the Paparazzi, which is the faction of him, Johnny Devine, and Kevin Nash. Alex Shelley has his camera out there.
Weird fucking faction.
What's weird about Alex Shelley going to Sting's house and filming his kids playing baseball?
Nothing.
I don't see anything weird about that.
Nothing at all.
It's all above board, I think.
Nothing at all.
But this was
Dateline wouldn't be remotely interested.
It was a different time, David. It was a different time. So I guess this was initially supposed to be Chris Sabin versus Kevin Nash, but Kevin Nash had some unfortunate mishap, and he has a neck brace on. He's in a wheelchair.
To quote Big Sexy, the worst day of my life.
He's obviously distraught. Big Sexy is
ruined.
I mean, the
career-threatening injury. He's got to look after himself.
I mean, he's just piling on the injuries at this point. It's probably actually like a stupid leg injury, but he has like
it's a quad. 100% he's pulled his quad.
Obviously,
he probably got out of bed and had a stretch and fuck bastard.
His quarterly quad tear. But yeah,
he forced one out too hard.
I thought this match was fun. I would say I had high expectations for it. I don't know if it necessarily met my expectations.
Agreed.
But they would go on to build more chemistry as the years went on, and I think they would have even more matches against each other that would be better. It wasn't a bad match, but it was a little underwhelming for me.
The highlight was Don West saying, if you're going to have Big Kev on your armband, or have Big Kev, you're going to brown nose properly. Do it properly.
Yeah. Because they had the Kev armbands, because they're showing respect, you see.
Big Kev.
I think
Kevin Nash's life-threatening injury. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I think for me it was very much a case of two guys that aren't quite very familiar with each other just yet, and you could kind of tell that because it was like, I'll let you chuck yourself off me. I'll chuck myself off you. You chuck yourself off me. There wasn't, even though this match was supposed to have quite a lot of storytelling involved, because of the paparazzi. And by the way, I do love that gimmick where they bring a camera out and film themselves. It's a great gimmick.
Yeah.
Great gimmick.
Awesome.
You see where Tyler Breeze got his fucking his ideas from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there wasn't the chemistry there that you'd expect from two guys. But if they aren't, do you know what I mean, this is 2 years before they even started teaming together. I'm taking it from the mindset of the Motor City Machine Guns that I remember. So I'm thinking, well, these guys, how do they not know each other? So, I mean, they should be fucking perfect with each other. But this is obviously at a time where they didn't, and you could tell.
From Michigan.
But again, was it? It was a good match, but I was expecting a great match.
Yes.
Where because I was expecting a great match, I've seen it as not the greatest, not a good match. Where it probably probably was a very good match. I was just expecting a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Both these guys have been wrestling like less than 5 years at this point, which is insane, which makes sense. They're still wrestling today. You can figure that this is the very beginning of their career, but yeah, like you said, still a lot to build off with these two, but it's a good match. Some fun chain wrestling, mainly from Alex Shelley. He's the more grounded of the two. Some fun spots here, like Sabin's hesitation drop kick in the corner is always a beautiful sight.
He's always got a good drop kick there.
Oh, it's sexy. Springboards, Sabin busts out like a tilt-a-whirl into an arm bar. But ultimately, because Nash is ringside in his wheelchair, Johnny Devine has his foot propped up on a steel chair. Towards the end, Nash takes that chair, slides it in the ring for Shelley to use, but Sabin ends up drop kicking the chair into Alex Shelley's face and then hits the cradle shock for the win. So Chris Sabin gets the win and is the number one contender for the X Division title. But yeah, good match. But like we said, probably higher expectations maybe killed it a little bit, but it was solid for sure.
Yeah, it was probably, like I said, it was probably a match that was a great match, but we was expecting greatness, and it just it wasn't there.
Built towards more though,
right?
With
exactly
the screwish finish.
I still want to know why Nash has got a thing with cruiserweights. He's always, every time I seem to watch TNA, it's always Nash and some little people.
It's like Triple H. He's obsessed with cruiserweights. We booked NXT back in the day. And who's their best friend? Shawn Michaels wrestles
Exactly.
like a cruiserweight.
He does it.
Dude,
He loves
Kevin Nash's run in the X Division here is some of the best stuff he's done in his career, character-wise, because he's like, I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna give it, because he's doing like the whole like work rate thing, which Kevin Nash has never been, so it's funny. But and him aligning with Alex Shelley and stuff, I thought that their chemistry together as characters is fantastic. So no complaints from me in terms of Kevin Nash here. But on the subject of big guys and little guys, it's a perfect transition into this next match. Abyss versus the Boss, Brother Runt, aka Spike Dudley.
Why the fuck are you not on Velocity?
Dude.
Who said you can pay-per-view?
This...
How dare you? You stupid little cunt.
Spike has always thrived facing bigger guys.
Of course.
Like,
absolutely.
I've been on your show, and we'll watch him face fucking Funaki or some shit. Yeah, exactly.
The 8,746 time.
God damn, dude. And Spike's always like, when he's facing other cruiserweights, it's like, and he's a heel in that case, it's like, oh, Spike's got to be the dominant guy. He's got to be the guy that's in control most of the match. That's not where his forte is. No. It's like this Spike versus Abyss was a good match. I loved this match. I don't say I loved it, but I really liked it.
No,
I thought the dynamic between
some great spots, like when he threw him into the crowd.
Oh, did he toss him into
when
the
he
12th
stomped
row.
on his head into fucking thumbtacks? Bosh!
That was...
I want to see Seth Rollins do that to someone.
That's probably a thing he's thought of, but was like, nah, that's too much.
Too much.
Not for Abyss and Brother Runt, apparently.
No.
But,
that was grim. There were no give neither. That were Bosh.
Absolutely.
Then when he brought his face back up and he just had them all his fucking head. Oh.
It was. Because the reason this match is happening is so the Dudleys are in TNA, but they're currently on a hiatus. They've lost a few matches.
Go for it.
Is that where they are? I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. But in kayfabe storyline, they're leaving to collect their to regroup, I guess, to refresh. But they've left Runt there, and they told him not to get in any trouble. Of course, Runt goes and picks up fight with the biggest guy in the locker room, being Abyss. So that's why this match is happening. Spike comes at Runt. He is a little cunt. Brother cunt is what we'll call him. So it's a pretty back and forth match, surprisingly, and they've somehow made it feel like organic. Like it didn't seem silly that Runt was getting the best.
For Spike.
They were the moments where Spike was getting the advantage, he was getting the shots in, and
I hit a Dudley dog.
Yeah, the Dudley dog to the barrier was fantastic.
Yes,
and the little moments like that where all you need in a match like this are 3 or 4 of them. Like Spike can get his arse handed to him for 80% of the match, but that 20%, if you spread that across 5 big moments, you can make people believe them 5 times that Spike's going to win. Yeah, and there were multiple times during this match where you thought, fuck off, he's going to do it. Spike's going to beat him. I said, but it's the perfect way. It's the perfect way to, like, I loved how they brought him out. And it kind of annoyed me a little bit as well because he came out very LSD-esque.
Yeah.
His ECW.
With the mohawk and the tie-dye.
He embraced his inner ECW, his inner extreme. But they completely fucking deadpanned his entrance to the commentators. They're like, oh, it's this cunt fucking dressed like.
It's like a taxi driver.
Yeah. Like straight away, I'm like, come on, you should be going live. He's taking a page out of his extreme book. Obviously, there's ways and means of saying it without dropping the ECW letters.
That extreme company's book.
Yeah, they could do anything. Oh, he's trying to go to the extreme tonight. So he needs to find this, and this. It could have worked because Spike did his bit by dressing up in the LSD colours. TNA didn't do their bit in the slightest.
I mean, they've said ECW on TNA before, so that's not something that they're like.
No, they called it the Extreme Company from Philadelphia.
Oh, what was the faction name for ECW? It was like
2.0. EV 2.0. They were sick, man. Don't even dare. They were sick. It was not stupid.
Bald Sabu. No,
Stephen
thank you.
Richards
no, thank
looking
you,
like
sir.
he runs a bar. And then what we'll do to make it look extreme, right? I've got a right idea. Everywhere, blue. Lighting, just blue. Yeah.
Well, ECW shows were dark. You can't just like shut the lights off.
Blue. Yeah. Oh,
like
hardcore justice. What a pay-per-view. Like, when you get round to that, I want in on that one. Oh, what
It'll be my yearly
pay-per-view.
hard justice.
Everybody old, bold, and extreme.
That's what they should have called the show. Old, bald, and extreme. They still could, I guess.
The best thing about that show is Sandman makes me look in shape.
Well, no Sandman here, unfortunately. No. But we got, like you said, I mean, Abyss controls most of the match, but Spike gets a few shots in. The acid drop on the guardrail. Runs at one point, gets Abyss's chain and hits him with it, knocks him off the top rope, and then hits a double stomp. And I was like, shit, brother Runt's about to beat Abyss, but he did not.
All it takes is them couple of moments, and you think, oh, can he? No. No.
Yeah. So it was great in that respect. But ref bump, Abyss splashes the ref by accident in the corner, and out come the thumbtacks. James Mitchell throws him into Abyss. Abyss lays him out. Spike tries to knock Abyss into it, but holy shit, Abyss says, fuck you. I'm mad that you even got any offense on me in this match. I'm gonna throw you 12 feet in the air and drop you face first on these tacks. And then I'm gonna stomp your face first into the tacks. And then I'm gonna give you a black hole slam into the tacks, one after the other. Gets the win. The finish. That was as convincing
exactly how you've just explained that. Somebody explained it that way to Spike, right? And Spike was like,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, sound, yeah. Nobody's.
You know what? It was probably Spike's idea. Let's be honest. Yeah. He was probably jizzing at the thought of doing this.
Like, wrestlers, they're especially like your hardcore, looking at your John Moxley style of wrestlers, they're a little bit weird, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They're all a little bit strange. You've got to be. It's like the jackass mentality. Do you know what I mean? It's like
you want to hurt yourself.
Masochistic. Yeah, I'm happy to slice fuck out my son because I kind of get a buzz off it. And no fuckers ever stomp in my face into what we call drawing pins. Right?
Especially not in a Velocity main event.
Not in a million years. Fuck that. There's not even one. One goes in my finger and I'm fuck that. I'm having a day off work.
Oh man.
Right? Do you know what I mean? You're going like literally that close to them. Bang. See ya.
It could go wrong so easily. Could have gone in his eye or whatever the hell.
You can't soft sell it either.
Do you know what I mean? How does it not? I mean, how can you can't purposely place the thumbtacks on the canvas and to make sure I'm only going to fall into them in that specific place? Like you've got to just brace yourself and hope to God that they don't go in your eyes.
Do you think that there was, because after like the fire delay and everything, do you think there was like a sense backstage of like, okay, because this kind of carries over to the next match too. Do you think there was a sense backstage of like, okay, we really need to ramp up everything to make sure these people can get their money's worth?
Hence why here's 2 hardcore matches in a row, motherfuckers.
Yeah, because I feel like these guys, like Abyss and Runt, they went hard in this match. I'm wondering if they went harder just knowing that. And the next match, I could say the same, but before that, we got I got to bring up this promo from Rhino here because
right. Have you ever heard anyone in the history of wrestling ever turn around to it? Do you know what I'm going to do with these?
What are you going to do with this?
I'm going to rape your face. Braun Strowman, get these hands. Get these raping hands. Who says,
I'm going to rape your face.
What is that? Oh, how do you rape a face with your hand?
I don't know, but I don't want Rhino to rape my face. That's for sure.
No, it made me laugh. It made me laugh. It build-up video to Rhino's match when he goes, Vince McMahon, he's content. No, he did not. Vince McMahon fired your ass a couple of years ago, right? Because you tried to knock your missus out. Right?
He didn't need you. From ECW 2.0.
No, but Rhino, yes. I don't understand the I'm going to rape your face with my fists.
That was quite a choice of wordage from old Rhino here.
Yes.
But it leads into a triple threat match. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match between Rhino, Monty Brown, and Samoa Joe. So just to set the scene here. So Samoa Joe, still undefeated. He's been in TNA for a little over a year now. and has just recently like moved on from the X division and is still pretty new in the heavyweight division. So this is still relatively new in TNA for Samoa Joe here to be in a match with these other big guys. You got Rhino, who actually is pretty. He has a lot of momentum behind him because
serious Rhino. This is the Rhino that was booked in ECW when he was world champion.
Yes,
where he was serious, unstoppable Rhino. Yeah, not just. Because he is a funny little guy in A's. He looks like an action figure. He reminds me of the original Mattel action. It just
when I was younger,
everything moves like that. This reminds me of Rhino.
Well, when I was younger, when I was watching on Sky One when I was about 10, whenever Rhino was on TV, my dad would say, "Is that Hippo?"
Well, I think Monty Brown actually called him a hippo.
Yeah, he calls him Hippofit.
Which is a hippo and an elephant, which is not clever, but it's a thing he said.
There was very little like clever that come out of Monty Brown. It was just funny. It was brilliant.
How dare you, first of all? But Rhino, and we kind of brought it up. This is when ECW was starting back up in WWE. Rhino comes out with a bag full of what's supposed to be allegedly the ECW title. It probably isn't. But this is on Impact a few weeks ago, and he's like, "You can't have ECW without the last ECW champion," which Rhino is. And he didn't take the belt out, but he threw the bag into a flaming barrel and is like, "That's what I think about ECW." And but the crowd ate it up. Rhino's hot with the fans at this point. And then Monty Brown.
I feel like on the indie scene. Scene, we should have Rhino versus Ezekiel Jackson to declare the ultimate ECW champion.
Yes.
Like, where are you going with
I feel like that needs to be a thing because isn't Ezekiel Jackson retired? He was the last ECW champion. So was Rhino.
That's very true.
I feel like they need to go.
Undisputed ECW champion.
Undisputed universal ECW heavyweight champion.
Anybody listening, AEW or WWE or anybody.
No,
anybody.
There's only one promotion on planet that booked that stuff, and we're talking about it right now.
Well, Rhino's there, I think, right? I think he's still with Impact.
Him and Aoife, I think, still out there.
Aren't they?
So just throw Big Rick in there, I think is what his name is now on the indie scene, and
that's it.
We got something. Hopefully, we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, so we got a 3-way here. This is my match of the night. This was fucking fantastic. I didn't really have much expectations for it. My God,
this was three meaty men slapping meat.
Yes,
right.
A lot of meat slapping.
But meat slapping. But the tenderizing with kendo sticks and trash cans.
Bacon
and this
tray.
is kind of like
mate, them tinfoil trays. Dink, what a noise!
Dude, they are smacking the shit out of. They're going. Yes. They're not holding anything back, which goes back to what I was saying. Is I felt like these guys had a chip on their shoulder almost. Like they were going out there to steal the show. Joe particularly felt like he was rabid. Like the way he came out, he was extra serious. It was just
it's the fastest he's walked at ring.
Dude, yeah, and it kicked off like right away. I mean, Rhino's jumping over the top rope. You got Joe. That suicide dive Joe did. It was the most violent looking because he. Yeah,
see, that's the thing. But he throws himself through the middle rope.
Yes,
there goes there. Hey, I use my right arm. He throws himself through, so it looks like he's not just like a normal suicide dive. He's like halfway through his dive. That bit more comes out of him as well. It's fucking brilliant.
Throws that forearm. Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, what stuck out? Like any spots stick out to you in this match to you guys?
The table spots. I know.
Yeah, did Rhino slow down or sidestep at last second?
So Rhino knew what was happening on that table spot. So obviously he set up the 2 table spots outside, and he starts running, and he's going full pelt tilt.
He's off the stage.
Last second he shits it, and you can tell he shits it because he slows down, and he just drops himself into the table.
He sidesteps and slows down. He falls.
Yeah, he like sets 2 tables diagonally against like a wall, like by the stage area where they come out, and goes to gore Monty Brown off the stage, but Monty evades, and Rhino goes flying off the stage. Well, he falls off the stage, crashing through the tables, and then Monty and Joe go at it. And Joe, there's another table set up off the ramp. Joe hits an STO onto Monty off the ramp through the table, and that gives Joe the win.
No, weren't it? Really, let's be right. It was
more of like a Uranagi, I would say.
It was just more of a get out of here.
Well, I kind of like it. Kind of was rough around the edges a little bit. It was like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw you off.
I did like how they were just wherever they were at any point during the arena. They were just, if I found something hard, I'm putting your head in it. Everyone would just dink, and it was like they were not much thigh slapping going on neither. It was just solid. If we walk past that steel crate, I'm just gonna put your head in it.
It was a very heavy hitter.
Yeah, I mean they're all the walls. Like they're fighting throughout the crowd. Somebody would be like against the wall in the crowd
and go straight through the wall.
Kicked Monty's face through a wall, and then people are throwing each other. There's in the ring. There's chairs getting involved. Joe hits a senton with a trash can lid behind him.
Oh no, mate, that was the best one. The best one was the shot with the trash can lid on the head, and then he dropped it down and kicked it up. That was fucking great shot.
Which I don't know why we don't see that spot more. You just like hold a trash can and you like punt it basically.
Fuck.
Ow. Yeah,
a bit, right?
Empty trash can.
If that slips wrong and that it goes bend in your eye, you've got your face on it.
It's aluminium.
Look,
it's fine.
It don't matter. Right. Rey Mysterio lost an eye to a steel. Jesus, Mike. You can't be going round kicking fucking bins in people's eyes. Jesus. I know it's wrestling, but fucking hell.
It was
yes, wrestling is not real.
You better tell these guys because these guys didn't get the memo, I don't think. But yeah, awesome, man. Any other thoughts on this one, gentlemen?
No, I said you covered it quite well. It was just a lot of hard hitting. There wasn't. Yeah. It was very much like you said. I think maybe they were given a little bit of extra time as well because a match got cut. But I know obviously we did have to lose X amount of time, but maybe they said, right, well, lads, we're going to give you an extra few more minutes. Let's go out there. You've got all the arena. Just go hard. Do you know what I mean? I know we've just had a hardcore match, but let's have a hardcore match with the high flying dynamic that can be in it as well, but also with the powerhouse dynamic that you can throw into it as well. It was. I wouldn't say it was my match of the night. We've not got there yet, but it was definitely up there.
The only problem for me was that all the talk and the fire during the fire bit, they were hyping up, saying made you think that they were going to fight in the parking lot as well. They didn't leave the impact zone at all. And
I also feel like Rhino didn't rape anybody's face.
Yeah, I didn't see any face waving in this one.
At all.
No, he did not deliver on that promise.
Maybe that's a later show.
Maybe it's
again, we'll keep an eye on
that's hardcore justice.
Maybe it's an extra. Yes. Or maybe we got to wait to Hardcore Justice 30. Do you know what I mean?
There we go. We're almost there. I mean, shit. There were 20 plus years into Impact here, but but we got it's a rough transition, but we got a women's match here. We got Gail Kim versus Sorelda. Thoughts?
I remember TNA from this time period, but
so it came to me when we were watching this. Oh, this character is right. Cast your mind back to Summer Olympics of the late 80s. And a certain father, I wasn't neither, but a certain father.
Oh, I see where
of the Kardashians was going through a phase in his life where everyone still called him Mr., but he called himself Miss. So the hair was growing out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? He was showing like the cheekbones weren't as strong and rigid as they once were. The Adam's apple's disappearing. And then someone says, Bruce, it's Halloween. What we're going as? And Bruce, because he stepped into a time machine and he's already been forward to 1999 Attitude Era Raw, he come back and he goes, I'm going as Funaki. And what you have
You're
tonight,
going to tell me,
ladies and gentlemen, is a female-looking Shinsuke Nakamura going up against Bruce Jenner as Funaki. Best I can offer.
That's a thought. I didn't have that in my notes specifically. I did not have girl Shinsuke versus Bruce Funaki.
Nicole Bass's got a bit smaller.
Okay. You're disrespecting TNA's Maven. Okay, because Serelda is the winner of Gut Check.
I also
which
have another
is
question. Has she got a
3
tag
inches
team
flat.
partner called Esma?
What?
No, she'd need Ez. What's she called? Merelda.
Serelda.
Serelda.
Oh, Esma. Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to
Esma.
make Esmeralda.
You tried. You tried your damnedest. Yes, Serelda, the winner of Gut Check.
Watching TNA.
Yeah, so she needs M's. She needs a partner called M's, and we've got M. Serelda.
There we go. You found it. You found it.
Really?
So I remember watching TNA at this time, but I don't remember her at all.
I didn't either. And I went into this match like, okay, I've never heard of Serelda. This couldn't possibly be good. And it wasn't. But to be fair, Serelda, I don't know if she was just terrible on the mic or what, but I don't think they ever gave her any mic time. She had no character. She was just the girl that won Gut Check, which is their version of Tough Enough. And she had a look. I mean, she was a sturdy gal. Let's put it that way. She was very muscular. She was very, she looked like an athlete. She had the kick pads. She had the, what's that?
Transsexual. That's the word you're looking for.
Okay. That is, no,
Kyle's
she's
not
just
trying to offend people on the internet.
She's a strong woman, an independent woman who don't need no man.
No.
Okay. So.
Unlike a fucking racehorse and all.
But yeah, in the ring, not much to offer. Even Gail Kim, because look, women's wrestling is non-existent in TNA at this point. It's just these two on the roster. And Gail Kim has not wrestled a match in a long time, it feels like. And she's very much a valet at this point with AMW, who we didn't see. That was the match that was cut. But even the way she was presented, she comes out, the camera's like following her ass. It's like zooming in on her ass as she's getting into the ring. She's like shaking it. There we go.
So where does she rank then in Esmeralda? Where does she rank then in the, to use Kyle's term, the strong, independent, I don't need no man, women of professional wrestling? Now, obviously, we're putting China in there. Nicole Bass.
She's better than Nicole Bass.
What do they call her in TNA? Sunny Kiss. Because that's one of them, isn't it? Is Nyla Rose?
Yeah.
Isn't Nyla Rose a shim as well?
She's all sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So where does Esmeralda? Because obviously I'm not familiar at all. This is first time and hopefully, fingers crossed, only time I've ever watched Bruce Jenner dressed up as Funaki. Yeah. Where does Esmeralda rank then in the shim division of professional wrestling?
I'm trying to think. Nicole Bass, I think, would be at the bottom.
Agreed.
Maybe Esmeralda would be just above her. I'm trying to think of other like big, broad ladies. That
what did they call her in WCW? It were a proper China ripoff. Asia. You know, I remember Asia. She was a big, burly girl. She was Asia. Yeah, it was a full-on China ripoff.
Sounds hot. So I'll definitely give it a look.
Hang on. SummerSlam 95-6 with the Body Donners. They had
Asia.
Oh, who was the one with the Body Donners?
I'm gonna give this girl a
Sonny went with somebody else. Yeah, Sonny went with.
Holy shit! Okay, it's like she was born attractive. Not to say she's not attractive, but my goodness, she is she's got some muscles on her. She eats a lot of protein. This Asia spelled ASYA.
Yes,
what an
of
asshole.
Of course.
All right. Well,
yes, and then
I would assume she's probably better than Serelda.
Yeah, and then there was, I can't think for life of me, the Body Donners. They had a feud where Sonny was on. Sonny was on there. I think it was Sonny and the Godwins maybe versus the Body Donners and a big, burly, strong.
Well, I'm almost there.
Manly female.
So can't wait for it. But yeah, because Serelda isn't like so big that it's a spectacle.
No,
but she also doesn't have like a character to her.
Just like Bruce Jenner.
I'm not going to co-sign that. I'm not Funaki Jenner. That's not what I thought. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. She had like the tights, the blue tights with the white stripe. I can see where the Funaki comes in.
Funaki Jenner.
So it's Kai and Tai is what you're saying this match is. It's Taka versus Funaki.
If you want to be racist and go there, Carl, that's entirely
Okay.
true.
No peepees here, I don't think. But well, maybe it got chopped off.
No.
That's the whole thing. So we got
Lives in the box.
yeah, not a lot to this match. I mean, Gail Kim, it almost felt like Gail was like working down to her level, to Sorelli's level. Because
absolutely. What bothered
It
me
was like a
is
warm-up match for her.
why, like when Gail Kim, when she finished the match with the finisher, I was like, that's not the finish yet, because she finishes with that eat the feet move.
She should have done eat the
Had
feet
no
off
steam.
the rope.
Where's eat the feet?
yeah,
Not happy.
nowhere. It was just like a blockbuster off the second rope, and that was
Yeah,
the
a shit
win. So,
blockbuster, because it was like Bruce Jenner got his timing a little bit wrong and he had to throw himself back. Yeah, it was not great.
Well-
Not great. Bring on fucking Karma. Not Karma. What they call it?
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong, that's
Awesome Kong. That's coming up. That's when that's some good shit, pal. But we still got to wait.
And
to
then
go for that.
Raka Khan, did they call her as well? She was decent.
She's in like a weird lawsuit thing where
I've seen.
what's the story? Didn't she
I can't, but I've seen that she's in. Yeah, I've seen that she's in the media.
after she
Suing
porked Kurt Angle
TNA
for a
and
little bit?
Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a life. But after that, good transition actually. Into a Scott Steiner promo.
Hey.
Every time Scott Steiner is on the mic, it is a gem. I mean, this is
Yes.
He's talking a bunch of nonsense. He's like, because Scott Steiner is at this point, he's aligned with Jeff Jarrett. He's like, he's gonna be in his corner in the main event. Christian is gonna be in Sting's corner in the main event. So Steiner and Christian have kind of been going at it, and Steiner's like, well, I thought Sting would get somebody better than Christian. I thought he was going to bring in, Lex Luger, or
The
Ultimate
Ultimate
Warrior,
Warrior.
Goldberg. Can you imagine Ultimate Warrior in TNA?
Yeah.
I would have loved that. But
Yeah.
Vince
Oh,
McMahon, you
Canadian.
faggot!
okay.
Straight away. You get Michael, Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, you're a load of queer faggots.
I don't like the American accent you put on for that. That
Yeah.
is. Well, it's the last episode of the Apron Bump, so it's been a good run. But
Going out swinging.
Yeah.
going out swinging. So is Senshi. He is swinging his legs. By God, he is.
I am
I'm
sorry, I talk like a robot.
I am rude.
He's a warrior. Okay, this is how warriors talk. Be ready, is what he says.
If Caval was 7 foot tall, that voice would be epic.
Yeah.
But the kid's about as big as me. Right?
So you see this guy and you think Caval.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is a shadow of
Not low key.
Yeah. Not Loki,
Oh.
not Senshi, not when he was the warrior,
Caval.
not in his fucking TNA Hitman outfit. I see him with fucking Michelle
Cool.
McCool
You're not a muff for me. Yeah.
when he lost
I
his
get you.
spot to fucking that who looked like a fucking oboe. In with, what did they call him? In with fucking
Who?
white guy, dreadlocks. He lost his spot, didn't he, on
Oh.
Survivor Series team to him.
Oh, Tyler Rex.
Tyler Rex, yes.
He's a woman now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah. He can
Wow.
go on that list. He can go
What a
on that
theme.
list. Tyler Rex.
I'll put Tyler Rex at the top of that list. Fuck it.
Yes. Was
Or
it
whatever
Burning Hammer?
their
Was that
name
his
is.
finisher? The Burning
Yeah.
Hammer. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. What a run. What a run. Well,
yeah.
no Tyler Rex in
Superstar
this
special.
match.
No.
So Senshi is otherwise known as Low-Key or Caval.
Cabal.
Is the X Division champion. He's defending his title in a 3-way against Petey Williams and Jay Lethal. So Petey won a 5-way on Impact to earn his way into this match. And then Jim Cornette, who's like the general manager at this point, he's like, yeah, I'll add Jay Lethal too. He tried. I think it's kind of bullshit, but whatever. We got a 3-way.
Well, Petey won the number of contenders match. Where's the logic?
Yeah, it's
That's
like-
not how the rules work.
Jay Lethal got pinned
He's
in that
given the
match. It's
winner.
like, if it, cocksucker. Like, what is going on here? But
That's very much WWE, especially in this time frame. Because WWE like doing that. They like getting somebody
Yep.
wins a match to become a number one contender. Then a week later, we have a number one contenders battle royal, and that number one contender's got to defend
Wild
the
card.
number one contender match.
last chance battle royal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh mate, I hate that. I fucking hate that. Elimination chamber.
Every single time.
Every year we out fail.
Mhm.
We out fail. all losers at matches, you know that one of them is going to be in chamber because there's going to be a last chance fatal four-way, a last chance battle royal. I hate that predictable shit.
But I thought this match was good. It had its high points. I thought it was like one of those things where it was like technically good, but for whatever reason I couldn't really get into it. There were high points where it was definitely awesome, but I thought there was a couple dull moments in this. I don't know. What'd you guys think of this one?
Personally, I was just waiting for a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah.
It's one of them where if Peter Williams is going to win this match, he's going to win with that really good move. Now, I always remember seeing that move for the first time ever in my life. Must have been
no one else did it.
Round about this time frame, and it just blew me away. Like I couldn't work out how on earth he did. Obviously, I had a very younger, more naive brain then, where I was like, it's not like the guy has to do a backflip at the same time that you do a front flip and we do it together. I used to think, how is he managing to flip himself over and flip him over at the same time? Blew my fucking mind, did Canadian Destroyer for the first time I saw it. But because of that, and because it is up there with, even though it's so overused, it's like a body slam now. But because it's back then it weren't, and
it's like a super kick these days.
I've not seen it for ages because I don't watch AEW. so I was like, Canadian Destroyer come soon. So that took my attention away from what could have been a good match. I don't know. I just wanted a Canadian Destroyer. I was a bit TNA'd out by this point of watching the pay-per-view. I just had two solid hardcore matches. I was a little bit...
Esmeralda killed it for you, huh?
Yeah, Bruce Jenner. Yeah, I think
the last one killed it.
I was all a bit TNA'd out. I was like... But,
it really brought the crowd down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched this show. I watched up until the triple threat hardcore match, and then I watched the rest of it the next day. And after that first half, I was prepared to be like, man, this is one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen from TNA. The second half was it wasn't bad. I mean, there was some good stuff on it, but it definitely, I would agree. I think the crowd had kind of, I don't know if they were tired or what.
They were TNA'd out. They were like me. They had so much emotion thrown at them in the last hour and a half, from a fire to fire in the ring, fire up there, to hardcore, and
to a hot shit hardcore match,
to face tacks. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to go. It's hard to move on from face tacks. It's hard to just look at a headlock and be like, "Wow, that must hurt."
Yeah, face tacks to slapping meat to Bruce Jenner as Funaki to.
What else could you want?
So much TNA one man can.
They didn't bring it down enough.
Yeah, no. They should have put Bruce Jenner and Shinsuke after one of the hardcore matches.
Yeah.
So gone hardcore women, hardcore this.
So they're gone like that. Not
like a parabola, not a I'm with you. But this match is good. This three-way here, you have Senshi doing all his Senshi things, the kicks, the stiff stomps, the
he's
like
shit
the back handspring.
Right, he really but yes. Right.
Well,
so
in a sense that he actually kicks people.
No, but that's doesn't all work he does. He's right. All Caval, right? He's just a shit Kenzo Suzuki.
Okay, that's a take.
Yeah,
that's a take.
Yes. Yes.
You think you think low key's inspiration is Kenzo Suzuki, the tag team partner?
Yes. No, I'd say his
partner of Rene Dupree.
His inspiration were Hakushi, because Hakushi was shitting all back at New Gen. He just kicked you.
Bold and baggy trousers.
Do you not like Hakushi?
Not really.
You could suck my asshole.
No, but back when I was a kid, Hakushi, I thought it was amazing because I thought, how the fuck did he draw all that shit on his face? It used to blow me away. But then if you actually go back now and watch a Hakushi match, it was just kicks. Just kicks.
Hakushi, Bret Hart, In Your House 1, I think. There's 1 or 2.
Yes.
Awesome match. Have you seen that match?
No, yes. And Hakushi versus 1-2-3 Kid. Awesome match. One of the SummerSlams, I think it was. All right, great match. Yeah. But that's because he's in the ring with 1-2-3 Kid and in the ring with Bret the Hitman Hart. Right? Stick him in the ring with TL Hopper. Stick him in the ring with Henry Godwin. Right? He's just kicks. Just kicks.
Yeah.
You're just
the occasional backflip. Your mom's just kicks.
I like his kicks. How about that? And I like Senshi. I like Kaval's kicks. Okay.
No, I'm not saying
Can't
Kaval's
keep
a
using
shit
his
wrestler,
proper
but
name.
what I'm saying is Kaval's is a shit wrestler. He
Well,
bores me.
I'm inclined to bores you.
Yes.
Senshi Kaval low key bores you. That is.
No.
You can say he's a shit wrestler.
No. Kaval never bored me. Senshi, low key.
Yeah.
Kaval had
So
Lake
when it was Kaval versus Eli Cottonwood, you were all about it, right?
because Lake over there.
Mate,
Yeah.
mate, that final promo between Joe McGillicuddy and Kaval. Oh,
Michael McGillicuddy.
well, whatever they were called.
I like how he walks. Well, we get some lots of Senshi, all the stuff. You get Lethal. Young Jay Lethal here is something special.
This is Jay Lethal just before Black Machismo Jay Lethal, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Very,
Before
very
the
soon
Blue
before.
Good work from Jay Lethal, that stuff.
Because he doesn't have much of a character at this point, but he's gotten over purely off of his wrestling, which is fun. He had a big run in Ring of Honor. He had a long feud. I don't know if it was long. He had a feud with Samoa Joe because Joe was like his mentor in Ring of Honor. You can kind of see the influence here with all like the suplexes that Lethal was throwing out there. A lot of Samoa Joe like offense, but with his own
Nice
kind
release
of,
Dragon
style to
suplex.
it.
It's mad, to be fair, how Jay Lethal never made it to WWE.
Yeah.
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 There's
I mean,
another one
he's-
like him, Christopher Daniels. I know obviously Daniels did as a jobber back in the day, but I don't really count. But like this
He was almost the higher power.
yeah, almost a higher
Christopher
power.
Daniels.
Yeah.
That'd have been a great way to.
To introduce him,
straight
yeah,
away.
definitely.
What a different career he would have had.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, especially Jay Lethal. He's one of them where he's always seen a lot better than he deserves to be. Like,
Yeah.
right now, he's teaming with fucking Jeff Jarrett and that in AEW, and I feel like Jay Lethal deserves better than that.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
But he's
Jay
a bit
Lethal
old
was like-
now, though, isn't he? He's older now. Jay
I mean, he's
Lethal.
still good. He's not doing a lot of the stuff he's doing in this match. Like
No.
in this match, he did like a backflip, not a Pele. He like kicked the guy in front of him and then did a backflip. Like stuff like that. He's not doing anymore with the top rope headbutt. He's not really busting out anymore, I don't think.
A bit like Flash Funk, Mike. Do you know when Flash Funk
Yes.
stopped being Too Cold Scorpio? Yeah, same thing.
That's how he relates his 1997 shitty gimmicks. But Petey Williams is solid. But like you, I was just waiting for the Canadian Destroyer.
We all
Petey
were.
is a really good wrestler, but unfortunately, he's just been pigeonholed into the Canadian Destroyer guy. Which, to be fair, it's a cool thing. It's something that
I
you always
like
go to.
with Petey Williams. I adore when he becomes Little Petey Pump and becomes
That was the best work of
Scott
his
Steiner's
career.
little bitch. It's
Steiner
fucking
helped him so
brilliant.
much.
Brilliant. It just,
Yeah,
I think it helped them both as well. I think it helped Steiner
Yeah.
a little bit as well because you
Rejuvenated his career.
you got a lot of comedic styling come out of Steiner, where Steiner he tries to play serious and fumbles and bumbles and mumbles over his words.
That was the Steiner math. You
when-
have Petey
but when-
Williams in the background
Yeah,
doing his
that's
curls.
it. But when Steiner plays the fool and plays daft, he can get away with coming across as the fool and daft. It works. And
But he's
Steiner's
daft,
just a
but he still has
fucking-
huge arms. So
Oh man, peaks on peaks on peaks on peaks on peaks.
Genetic freak for a reason.
yeah, he's what did they say? He has the biggest arms but the shortest fuse. they say that every time he's on TV. But we
great line.
eventually do get a Canadian Destroyer onto Jay Lethal from Petey. But then Senshi hits Petey with a shotgun drop kick, knocking him out of the ring, and then pins Lethal.
Like
Picks
a
the
little
bones.
bitch because he
Thief.
can't wrestle. 'cause
Yeah.
he's shit.
Thief.
That's how you win. When
Caval's
you're
a thief.
shit.
No, it was Senshi here. Caval would have won in a more honorable way, right?
Lay Cole would have held down his legs. Was Caval would have made the pin.
Right. He would have hit him with his purse or something.
100%.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hit him with half the
Half
Divas
the women's title.
God, what a time. What a time. But,
Triple threats or no DQ.
speaking of things that commentary incessantly says, so we got LAX here next. I don't know if you guys heard, but the code 5150 is police code for mentally insane. And notorious 187. 187 means homicide. It's another thing they would just say every week on Impact, and they said it here. It's like we get it. It's like it's the new, or it's Relic before Relic. It's killer spelled
Killer
backwards.
That's it.
But
Big Johnny Stamboli.
Jesus, FBI. We got the World Tag Team titles on the line here. We got the champions AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels versus the Latin American Exchange, the team of Hernandez and Homicide with Conan, of course. This feud, I loved this feud. This is like, so I remember like stumbling upon TNA on Spike, and I remember watching this. I remember LAX beating down Daniels and AJ on Impact. They gave the Gringo Killer to AJ. It was the first time I saw that move, and I was like, that guy's got to be dead, because that was devastating. And you have Daniels, he's bleeding all over his white dress shirt. They're building up LAX beautifully. And
if you're gonna bleed, wear a white shirt. If you're going to throw it,
definitely,
of course. So LAX, they formed based off the fact that they think that TNA and I guess the United States in general, they cater to the, and I quote, white boys. And AJ and Daniels represent that. They're the poster boys of TNA, and they're like, we're going to show you. So that's why they're mad at them. And of course, they want the tag team titles. But and AJ, Daniels, fun tag team. They are the poster boys of TNA. They're the pillars of the X Division and the company in general, I would say. But this match was good. I thought it was a bit clunky in the beginning. Kind of throughout, actually, but I thought, like, especially the ending stretch, I thought was really fun when all the big moves started getting busted out. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this one?
There were a few spots. I love the vertical suplexes combos where they're just constantly suplexing each other for what felt like an eternity. But yeah, I agree with the clunkiness. I feel like at the start, everyone had maybe for like the opening like 5-10 minutes, everyone had their own spots and their own positions to be in. But a couple of them may have forgot at certain points. They're like, oh no, you'll get out of the way because I need to do my move here. And it was, it was a little bit of clunkiness. But I suppose you're going to get that because I've got a varied styles with LAX and with X Division guys. With AJ Styles and Daniels. It's like, they should be in the X Division.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming off all like the trilogy of matches with Samoa Joe and Styles and Daniels, so they're kind of like moving beyond the X Division a little bit here, but that is where you would think of them. And then Hernandez and Homicide, still a pretty new team here.
I love some of their moves. I adore what we got. Cop Killer. That's one of them moves. Yes. Is it the Gringo Slam? Somewhere that's one of them moves.
Well, the Gringo, so the Vertebreaker that Homicide does, it's had a few names.
Gringo
I think they call it the Gringo Killer here. Yeah,
but the Cop Killer, that's a great move.
I think he called it that in Ring of Honor, if I remember correctly. But yikes. So this is during in society at this point. This is when people crossing the border and like all that stuff. Immigration was
a border
huge.
Toss was one of their moves as well, wasn't it?
Of course, the Cracker Jack,
that crucifix.
Yes, beautiful too. I mean, Hernandez just yeets these gentlemen with that border toss.
He jumps far too easy for a big guy.
Oh, mate! Even like when he came back to TNA a few years ago, he was still doing it. He's jump over the fucking rope. Shoulder thrust thing, fucking unreal.
It's similar to like Roman Reigns used to do it when he was a babyface. He would just like leap with no hands over the top rope.
Same as Taker.
Yeah, same thing. But I mean, Hernandez just took it to a whole other level. You got a Homicide with his flip suicide dive that he does into the barricade. You got AJ busts out a springboard shooting star to the outside and gets so much height. I mean, this is peak. From a physicality standpoint, this is peak AJ Styles. Daniels is in there doing some split leg moonsaults and like pretty much holding this match together, pretty much. And some fun double team moves.
Quite liked, was it Homicide that did the RKO onto Styles?
Yes,
good RKO.
Yes,
solid RKO.
Yeah,
Ace Crusher,
whatever.
God, Johnny would be proud you fucking calling it out. It was probably like the fucking white boy drop or some bullshit like that.
Puerto Rican plunge.
Have that, you onky prick.
The Puerto Rican plunge. I like that. I think that's Savio Vega's finisher, actually. But we got LAX bust out a
finisher.
I think he didn't win matches, is the thing. So I don't know.
Maybe a roll-up? No. When he was Quang, he had
spinning heel kick.
And spinning heel kick, yeah.
Yes.
So was that his finisher as Savio Vega?
That's how he got to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament against Cable.
A fucking fluke. That's how he got to the final of the King of the Ring tournament against
with his spinning heel kick.
From one of WWE games, it was a spinning kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of spinning kicks in this match as well. Cracker Jack, the Blue Thunder bombs. AJ hits a move.
He does that Blue Thunder bomb by Daniels was brilliant. To be fair,
Daniels is so smooth, so smooth.
Yeah.
AJ does his classic, like the moonsault springboard into the reverse DDT, but the way he hits it on Hernandez is because Hernandez is so tall that AJ couldn't land on his feet before he dropped him. So it was like one fluid motion how he did it. Made it look all the more devastating, I thought. But ultimately, it's a high-low for the win for Daniels and AJ. A little total elimination-ish.
Yes, very much total elimination-ish.
Yeah. Looked really good because a lot of people do moves similar to that, but these guys nailed it. But yeah, good match. So AJ and Daniels retain. I actually thought LAX was going to win this one, but
I did. Especially with that entrance.
Oh, dude, we didn't even touch.
They have their own entrance tunnel.
Yeah, with like the brick wall, and then they have their own announcer. The presentation of LAX is awesome. But any other thoughts on this one, boys?
This was match of the night for me. It was.
I hear that.
So good.
No, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
I'm not mad at that at all. But before the main event, we got Christian backstage with JB. He's this is fun in hindsight because he's talking a bunch of shit, and he's basically like, he ends it with tonight because he's in Sting's corner tonight, and he basically says that tonight it's going to be a new era in TNA. I mean, you're watching this and it's like, oh, he's going to help Sting win, but it's not what happens. It's not what happens.
Well, he does. He spends fucking half an hour helping Sting win, and then if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
So this is...
Mate, this is bullshit. It's
Vince Russo booking and it's fucking kindness.
Bullshit is this.
Oh, wait, we got a swerve to do.
I've got to the end of this paper.
How many swerves?
I've watched a bit. It's been quite fun. There's been some shit bits. There's a lot of bits that I've enjoyed and made me laugh. And we got to the main event. One last shebang. You know something dodgy's going to go down. But my God, they tried their hardest for you not to think something dodgy was going to go down. And then Vince Russo, like he does. What a knobhead. How many times did Christian try? I counted 4, 5 that he actually tried to help Sting win.
I think more than that.
Lots of times.
But then he was the catalyst in the reason that Sting lost. It was just fucking...
it literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It
was just stupid.
And there wasn't anything that happened in the match that would be like...
That
Christian changes his mind.
Exactly. There was nothing like... Apart from the old mindset of if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, I mean, we can like start at the finish and then kind of work our way towards it.
Work our way backwards.
Look, so Jarrett so it's a world title match. Jarrett's champion, defending against Sting. For all intents and purposes, this should be a huge match. I mean, because they've been building to this for 8 months. You saw the huge vignette,
the massive My Way video package. These are everyone's a big star. Everyone,
yeah.
If Jeff Jarrett's the only person in the room, Jeff Jarrett's the biggest star in the room. But they're all big stars. Do you know what I mean? Jeff Jarrett's the name of TNA. You've got Sting, who's the name, still the icon. Do you know what I mean? You've got big people, guys involved. Christian's the recently signed. Do you know what I mean? He's involved.
Former champion.
Yeah, exactly. They should be massive. But Vince Russo had his hands on this, and you could tell within seconds.
I think the crowd was fed up with it too, because there was no I don't know. I didn't feel any emotion in this match. It should be I should be invested in this.
Yeah, we should be pissed off.
Some Jeff Jarrett matches in TNA, because they're all pretty much similar to this. There's always shenanigans. Yeah. But sometimes a lot of those matches are still very entertaining. It's a lot of, high drama. There's, you could feel sucked into it. Like, oh, what's going to happen next? This match had all of the bullshit with none of the emotion. So,
yeah.
And they would go on to have, I think a better match at Bound for Glory. But
with that goes
building to that. Yes, maybe that's the secret sauce they needed.
Maybe so.
But the finish, and we'll talk about the match more, but Christian turns on Sting as by hitting him with a guitar as Sting comes off the top rope. Jarrett pins him. Jarrett retains. Christian turns heel. But like you said, he had spent 15 minutes before this.
This is where I was incredibly confused because, again, like I said at the start, never seen this pay-per-view. And obviously, in our little chat, Mike was like, "Oh, is this that one where Christian turns heel?" So I'm like, "Okay." So then we get to the match, and Christian's obviously in the side of the face, and Christian spends a lot of time helping
the side of the face.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Has Mike got the wrong pay-per-view here?" Because there's no way Christian turns heel here. He's just been faced like maybe if he did it once and it backfired and it pissed him off, or if he did it once and it backfired and Sting hit him like accidentally, or something to push him over the edge, something to make that flick switch. But nothing. He literally spent 40 minutes or whatever it were, belt shots and fucking distractions and everything else. Proper very unfacey things he were doing, like may I add. Right?
But for the face,
but
not
for
to
the face, yeah. Not to the face. And then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, wham bam with his little fucking baseball bat or whatever.
Guitar.
Oh yeah, and done. This
is a Jarrett match. He has a guitar shot.
It doesn't make sense. But it's Vince Russo and it's not supposed to make sense.
It doesn't. But let me just lay out what happens in this match, because it is just nonsense from start to finish. So they fight in the crowd, which, by the way, when people fight in the crowd, I just tune out. I don't give a shit. They're just whatever. He's playing to the crowd. It's fine. Punch, throw you into the wall, whatever. They get back into the ring. Throws Jarrett in the ring. Sting goes to the top. Steiner hits Sting in the leg with a chair. Guess the ref didn't see it. There's a lot of that in this match.
ECW rules.
Sting falls off. Jarrett locks in the figure four. Sting fights out of it at some point into a Scorpion death lock. He hits a Scorpion death drop. Pins Jarrett. Steiner pulls the ref out. Christian attacks Steiner. But I guess Steiner gets the better hand at some point. He slides the world title to Jarrett. Jarrett swings at Sting and misses. He drops the title. Christian then slides the title to Sting. Sting hits Jarrett with the title. But the ref is outside yelling at Scott Steiner, I guess. So the ref gets in, finally makes the pin. But Jarrett gets his foot on the ropes. Steiner hits as Sting runs the ropes from the outside. Steiner hits Sting in the back with a chair. And Christian and Steiner all of a sudden fighting in the ring. They fight over the chair. Christian grabs the chair from Steiner, knocks out Jeff Jarrett with it. Guess the ref didn't see that. I guess he's looking at maybe there's another fire on the roof or whatever. The ref kicks out Christian, kicks out Scott Steiner. It's about time. Jarrett locks in his own Scorpion Deathlock. Sting reverses into his own Scorpion Deathlock. Jarrett gets to the ropes, goes to do the Stinger splash in the corner on the Jarrett, but the ref gets in the way. Ref bump, folks. We got Jarrett hits the stroke, pins. There's no ref. Steiner's back. Has the guitar. Hands it to Jarrett. Jarrett goes to the top with the guitar. Christian's back with a bat. Hits Jarrett. Hits Steiner. Sting lays out Jeff Jarrett. Christian tells Sting, go to the top rope. Sting's like, cool, boss. I never do this.
Yeah, go for a headbutt, Sting.
Have a jump, lad. Go on.
The patented Sting shooting star press, you all know. Goes to the top, leaps off the top rope, midair. Christian, like a baseball bat, swings this guitar, cracks Sting with it. Awesome visual, to be fair. There's a lot of bullshit, but I thought that was kind of fun.
Spot,
it was contrived as all hell, but it happened. And like we said, Jarrett pins Sting. Christian leaves. Ref counts to 3. And then Jarrett retains the title. So, again, people listening, you're like, that sounded kind of confusing, Kyle. Well, it's even more confusing when you watch the match because none of this shit made sense. It was all, like I said, it was just too much.
Yeah. There were no seeds of Christian turning in that match at all.
Yeah. No. It'd be one thing if like Sting swung a chair and accidentally hit Christian or something.
That's what we're saying.
Nothing like that.
If there was something to piss Christian off, then you'd get it. But there was zero to annoy him. Russo, man.
And so basically, Christian walked into this match knowing he was going to screw over Sting. That's why wouldn't he just screw him over in the beginning?
Straight away, ding, ding, bells ring, screw him over. Not ding ding bells ring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convince the TNA fucking Impact Zone that I'm a good guy, because look at all these times I'm trying to help Sting win. But actually, it doesn't, like, even in the kayfabe world, explain yourself, Christian. Why did you keep trying to help Stinger win? It just doesn't make sense. It's another bullshit pay-per-view that Cal's made us watch. I've come out of it confused.
Hey, don't let the main event.
We bring you on our show for velocity.
Yeah, as if you give me the most golden. You make me watch generic steroid spiky hair guy number 5 face off against Asian jobber again. Like, whatever. No bashing on the show, unfortunately.
Against SAT.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I do like me some SAT.
That's it. We gave you fat little Spanish bastard. You gave us Larry Zabrisco dressing up.
They are husky. SAT are a legendary tag team. I'll have you know that. But hard justice. Hard justice. How many Mavens, fellas, would you give this show?
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. It had, after the fire, it was good.
Yeah, the fire helped. The fire massively helped.
It was less to watch, right?
Yeah.
Less Shane Douglas on the show.
I feel like 2.5's giving it 3. Yeah, 3. It was above average.
Average TNA.
Like 3.5 Mavens.
3.5.
Well, if you want some bullocks, people listening, you want some average bullocks. Well, you get above average bullocks, but the Ruthless Aggression
Americans.
Era.
They don't know how to say bollocks, do they?
Bollocks. You want some good old-fashioned wrestling? Well, you go check out the Ruthless Aggression Era Podcast. Where can everybody find you gentlemen?
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, all over social media at RA Era Podcast.
Beautiful. Well, now, what's up?
If you want to check out our Patreon as well,
go for it.
Where's that, Dave?
Come on, every episode, we can't fail, Mike. Your job is to tell people where we are. Tell them where we are.
That's patreon.com/RA Podcast.
He's had too many Fosters or whatever you guys drink over there.
That's why I do
it. That's why he's here.
Well,
it's not just for the good looks.
If you want to listen. If you don't, couldn't give a fuck.
Well, by golly, if that doesn't suck you in to the RA Era Podcast, I don't know what will.
But I promise you, if you do listen, you'll have best hour and a half of your life. If you enjoy a little bit of racial anti-Japanese wrestling.
No. Once again, thank you to Mike and Dave from the Ruthless Aggression Era Podcast. Always a good time with those boys. Go check out the RA Era Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. All that info in the description below or above. I don't know where you're listening to this on. It might be above. It might be to the right even. I don't know. Do that. Follow me at Apron Bump all across the board. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. apronbump.com for all the full episodes and everything else you need for daddy. Rate the podcast, review the podcast, give it a like on YouTube, give it a subscribe, leave a comment, diddle my nipples, butter me up, call me Sally, do all of those things in that order. And with that, no more fires here other than my pee. Thank you guys once again for listening. I truly, truly love you all. I appreciate you all for checking out the podcast. I am hard.
Yeah. And the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing like it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing like it.